Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today I'm going to give you a couple of tips for making your drum sound better, and it really does work. I use this method in every single track that I end up mastering or getting ready for mastering, etc., that kind of thing. So it's super simple and it works with everything: electronic drums, normal drums, and it just pushes your drums out a little bit in the mix so you can actually hear the drums without them being too overpowering, unless that's what you want, of course. But this will work even with that kind of thing. Right, so we have this little section of this track I'm messing around with, and you can hear the drums here. I'll solo them. We have that ride and I mean, that may sound okay. So first of all, I'm going to look at this ride symbol here, open my insert effects and use the Studio EQ. Now you can do this in anything, it doesn't need to be Cubases. I'm just using Cubases because that's where the track is. So I'm going to switch Studio EQ on and have a look at it here. And the first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to boost the top end a little bit. Now I'm not worrying about looking at frequencies and stuff like that. I don't care, I just want to hear it. I'm going to take off some of the low and the mid. So that's sounding much better to my ears anyway, so that's what I want for that. Super easy. Let's go into the main kick and snare part now. So let's open this. Again, you can turn the channel EQ on if you want to. Let me give it a bit of a boost and then you can go mess around with it. But let's stick with the EQ trick. Turn EQ on and you'll really hear it now. We're going to play with, and it only needs a tiny bit, listen, and a bit of boost on the end. Now if we turn it off, maybe go even a bit more. And if your drums are muddy sounding, right, we could turn on the other bands and we could say, maybe you want them a bit more muddy, but... And this is just a quick trick, you know, you may have done EQing earlier on the drums, but if you want them to like punch out a little bit in the mix, so without, much cleaner, much better, much more presence there. So if we switch off the EQ again, let's bring back in the mix, and I'll turn the EQ back on and you'll hear the ride a lot better. And then the bass and kick, a kick and snare. And there you go. Now we go to our mixer and let's say our two drum tracks aren't clipping, so that's good. We can lower our back to about -5 or 6 now. Click on that, make sure we're not clipping anywhere. This one's clipping somewhere. Let's have a look at that. So I'm guessing that's and this will, yeah, it's got a filter step on it. So let's tap to add an effect. Let's add an internal effect. We'll add a Studio EQ. Now we're going to have lost some of that bass rumble that was causing our problem here. On the next video, I'm going to show you how to prepare your track for mastering. We can even afford to bring this up a bit now. One, two. Okay, so there you go. Just a little quick EQing trick for certain things that you might want to fix. But for definitely the drums, just a little tiny notch on the top end and a little tiny notch on the low end of the EQ if you're using like kick and snare. I mean, the idea is a lot of people think it'll roll off the bottom end, but I find, and like I said, it works for me, I find it boosting up a little bit and then setting the levels in the mix so they don't clip, and then finally setting the end output correctly as well is what helps, which is what I'll go over when I do a kind of a how to set your mix up for mastering, well, how I set my mixes up for mastering. Of course, there are no real fast set rules apart from avoiding clipping at all costs and stuff like that. And of course, setting the correct levels for your streaming service that you're going to upload to, etc., whether it be Bandcamp, Spotify, etc., all that stuff. Anyway, but this one was for bringing your drums out a little bit in the mix without kind of, if you ride the volume, you're gonna clip, and you know, you're going to have to go through all sorts of other jiggery pokery that you've set up while you're doing your mix, and you're thinking, well, it's all going to get altered now. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Strike the like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you later. Ta-ra.